Hi, all. We are the Global Grandmothers Council Network, and we are here talking about Children's Day of Peace. Move myself back. And I want to share my screen and just tell you a little bit about how we got here and what our vision is for Children's Day of Peace. So the Founding Mothers movement started about the same time as Michelle and I came into the Global Grandmothers. And the founder of the movement lives an hour and a half from me, and I've known her for 7 years, Laura, Dr. Minister Laura George. So we were in a meeting. Well, first I have to tell you that Heidi Little, who is on our Peace Production Peace Council, has for 14 years offered International Children's Month in June. And she's been working toward trying to get the United States to adopt the UN rights of the child. Well, she talked to a congressman a few months ago about it, and he was very clear with her that, oh, you're from Canada? Well, if you do that, I'm going to deport you. So she's like, I need somebody else to take this. And she was working with Founding Mothers on this project. And I said I would lead the circle in her place. So Founding Mothers, I'm a delegate to the Global Women's Congress for Peace Production, our nonprofit. There is a position available for a global grandmother to become a delegate to the Global Women's Congress also. And I don't want to go deeply into that. If somebody feels interested to find out more, go to their website, look at it, contact me, and we'll talk about that at another time. So Children's Day of Peace came out of that circle conversation. We were talking, and Tezekiah, who's one of the co-founders of Pathways to Peace, said, oh, I'd love to see a children's walk for peace. And that sparked my imagination, and we started creating, and we came up with the Children's Day of Peace. So all of the graphics here in this presentation, I've put the program together for Founding Mothers, and now I'm bringing it to the Global Grandmothers and saying, how do we want to play in this? What do we want to do? Because Global Grandmothers Council Network has a reputation in the world. We are known in the world, and the world is waiting to hear from us and see what we're going to bring. So we have the Convention on the Rights of the Child as a circle that I'm the head of that circle, and if anyone's interested, you can join me there.
Mayana, are you sharing your screen?
Yes.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm seeing it.
You are? Oh, I'm sorry. I needed to move it was my fault. Sorry.
Okay, good.
Are you on the phone? Do you need to look at?
Well, let me go back. You have to see this image.
Go back. Yeah.
Because you have to see that.
Yeah.
I love that one.
It's just beautiful.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So the Convention on the Rights of the Child with Founding Mothers.
Yeah, crucial.
And the Global Women's Congress, there is a delegate position available.
Love the images.
And so Children's Day of Peace, Friday, November 20th, is the International Day for the Rights of the Child. It's celebrated in schools in Europe. They already focus on this day around the world, but not in the United States, because we are the only nation in the world that has not ratified the Children's Day of Peace. Or, I mean, the children's rights. So with this movement, we are looking at the 5 pillars. Communities create peace by choosing to connect, create, care, celebrate, and commit. And so we're standing on these 5 pillars of things that we might do in community as individuals and groups come together. And we believe that every child deserves to be nourished, encouraged, inspired, protected, and celebrated. So those are the 5 gifts that we want to give every child. So we might think about this as how the grandmothers, what the grandmother's gift to Children's Day of Peace. How are we going to nourish, encourage, inspire, protect, and celebrate children? So with this, we're giving out Children's Peace Prizes. There's an art, literature, and music and video contest, and we're going to give cash prizes to children around the world that submit their content. And we will have a global wall of peace, children's wall of peace, where all of the content is visible. I'm envisioning a magazine, the Global Children's Day magazine that works so well. So what happens on November 20th? Across the world, schools will begin a day with a peace circle. Children will wear peace medallions. This is the medallion, and I've looked into getting them actually made with inlay, enameled. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Communities could have walks, they could have children's fairs, they could paint, musicians perform. You can have local peace prizes, plant trees, make soil, play in the dirt. There are unlimited things we could do with children.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone will have their own idea of what their community would want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a list here of all the things that we could do. So, and it's not about how many children in each location. If there's just reading a story to some children would count. And Founding Mothers has a map that we want to see it populated with every grandmother doing something across the world. Even if it's a small, just going to have my grandchildren around me. It doesn't matter. We want to map it and get participation.
Yeah.
So the question here today is, what is the grandmother's gift to Children's Day of Peace? And options, the grandmothers in community could gather. We could have a committee to fundraise and delegate the GGCN Children's Peace Prizes. We could have a grandmother's ceremony where a grandmother sees a child and passes a peace medallion to that child and says, I see what you're doing in the community and I honor you and I recognize you. And I give you this peace medallion in a ceremony and invite them to hold it until they feel they need to pass it to someone else that they see doing a good work. It's not something that you keep forever. It's something that you hold and then pass on. And we could create a ceremony for that.
Love it.
And then the UN Rights of the Child, Santa Clara County adopted the rights of the child. They didn't wait for the U.S. We could have counties and cities and municipalities all over adopting the UN Rights of the Child. And there will be a petition coming soon that one of our peace counselors, Danielle Nowoteski, is doing.
Brilliant.
So our ask today is to come to agreement on our unique role in this movement, to have a small Grandmother's Children Day of Peace circle that works on this with me, that I don't leave this meeting and still be the one doing all the work. We have a team, that we get a team, that we are committed to our local action. And we wonder who already knows something that you might do. Here locally, we have an open mic, and we're going to invite all the mothers who have their little businesses to have a children's fair the same day as the open mic and celebrate children here in our little tiny community. And then get it on the map on the foundingmothers.world. And volunteers for specific things, for local events, for prizes and fundraising, for ceremony and medallions, to advocate and storytelling and media. There are opportunities to step up and step in. And grandmothers are rising for the children around the world. Grandmothers are gathering in their own communities to celebrate children's gifts, stand up for their rights, nurture their belonging, fund children's peace prizes, and pass peace from one generation to the next. So the Children's Peace Prize Fund, Founding Mothers has a fund for the peace prizes. I would like to see Global Grandmothers have a fund and do additional prizes that is separate and apart from the Founding Mothers.
Thank you.
So the Peace Prize Fund, when people donate to the Founding Mothers Peace Prizes, they can say what they value and what they want their money to go to. So I just wanted to give you a good overview of what the Founding Mothers movement is doing. And then I want to show a couple of other things that with Printful, I developed some products. I love this mug that has the things on it. So this is just, we could sell things as Global Grandmothers, make a little store. I created a donation, Children's Day of Peace. And
Beautiful.
let's see, then I've got, okay, so that wasn't, I just wanted to check and see if that was Carol trying to get in. So I will just pause now and we can just go around the room and each of you share your thoughts after hearing the main spiel. Michelle?
Firstly, big deep bow to you and to the donations that have started to come in. Thank you all for that. What a glorious moment this is, and how divine. Let's make this happen, and that is happening already in little areas and pockets, and the rest will be a domino, no doubt. But some ideas, tea with 3 other grandmothers. That's always nice. Like, you get together with your friends. So I'm a shared meal, storytelling afternoon, just little ideas like that. Is that what you're looking for at the moment? Suggestions like that? Is that congruent with what you were asking, Mariana? Am I answering you?
Well, I'm really wanting to know how grandmothers as a group want to be represented in the world.
Right.
Because the magazine and our work with International Women's Day and with Founding Mothers, we're recognized. We don't have a lot of we don't have a lot of participation.
And do you know what
we're doing?
We've discussed this. I'm going to put it out here now. We're going to go public. Facebook.
Yes.
We're going to tear down the walls of preconceived fear, notions, and apprehension about who's coming in. We've held this for 2.5 years now. I've been in 3 years, almost, not 3, 2.5 anyway. So let's go. Let's just open up the Facebook page to public. That's something we've been discussing and tabling for a long time. There was, I think, a small percent, 12, maybe even a little bit more, that were against it. We do not need to veto anybody. If we open it up, we'll have the grandfathers, younger people, all sorts of women that don't identify as being a grandmother coming through, because it's the divine feminine energy that we're all aligning with allegiance, commitment, focus, and intention. And the love that flows through that, ripples out, has been phenomenal. Now let's see where we go. We're 54. We're going to be, amazed, I feel, by the energy that will come in as a surcharge for doing that. And then, the global recycling, other aspects and facets of setting up community places and spaces where we can all deal with, as Trish said, putting our hands in the soil. We all have that availability. Even in cities, we still have a little park, hopefully. But yeah, reaching out like that, opening up.
If I would like to say also that we have participation in the UN, we have participation with Rotary International. Pathways to Peace is on board. You know, there are a lot of organizations through the founding mothers and through peace production. I can't even name them all right now. They're all, it's like
Exactly.
everybody is saying, this is the catalyst that we've all
Yeah.
been waiting for
Yeah.
to bring us into united action.
Absolutely. This is where it is. And International Women's Development Committee. I mean, we've had so much response in that March meeting with the 3 days. That was extraordinary. The exposure and the responses have been extraordinary. But you're right. We stand now and start opening our voices and our arms and outreach completely, accepting all that comes through, as we have done already, but now trusting.
So what are your thoughts, Jeanette, Carrie, Robin, Trish?
Mute myself. Again, definitely a new player on the field here, but I can definitely sense some energies of consternation of opening it up. But as grandmothers, as crones, crowned with wisdom, hence the name crone, I believe that with the numbers that have been quoted this evening, and as grandmothers, if we play to our strengths of where our wisdom resides, we could create groups. So it's not all one person, which is usually how it works, 90% of the work done by 10%. But if we could create committees of grandmothers focused on certain aspects, right, that come together, a group on ceremony, a group on sacred art, a group on stewardship of the land, and everybody pull in their experience and their wisdom. Just listening fired that I know somebody who's a librarian that I'm close with. What a resource that librarians could network,
100%,
do a story day. Brilliant. On that.
Brilliant.
And how many grandmothers in our network, what percentage have worked in libraries, know somebody who works in a library? Mm-hmm. So again, mm-hmm. playing to our strengths of connection. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That way, if you do open it up to everyone, which I know that probably makes some people nervous.
Of course.
Understandably,
of course.
I mean, today.
Of
but
course.
If you have a strong framework and then open, if there are any issues, you're going to still have strength in numbers, so that if there's an occurrence of a wave or two, you'll be able to navigate that easily.
Right.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And we can turn on post approval for that. Instead of just, we could have some people are pre-approved, the people we know are pre-approved to post, but others with post approval. Yes,
Mariana, brilliant. Thank you, Jeanette. That was so informative and beautifully balanced.
Yeah, that's ideal.
It is really strengthens the backbone of what we're needing to hear. Thank you. That was so good. Trish, I'd be interested.
I want to just talk for 1 minute, and then I'll open my video and talk a little bit more. Your presentation I don't even think I knew that you were this talented, Mariana. I would have used you a whole lot more in the past had I known you could do all this. So I'm very impressed with the way that you just put this together, and it really helps me understand where you've been and where you're going and why you want to go there. And so I just have a few clarifying questions that if you guys on this call can answer. I have put together some pretty big projects, and I would like to see this go everywhere. And and just some perspective on the US and why, because I was part of that adopting group that put that UN proposal together, I guess you would say.
Uh-huh.
And so there's some history, and it's not bad. You know, everybody in every country, every person, they're doing the best that they can with how they have to work and what they know how to do.
Of course.
And so when we did any work with Peace or Peace Pals or K-12 education or whatever, you kind of have to work locally.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do want states to we had, as you remember, Mayana, I think we had every governor sign on to the Peace Pals peace treaty, but it was on their level. You know, we weren't asking the whole United States to give us $2 million. So that's part of always the reluctance, is what kind of money are you going to ask us for? So let me just do one other thing, and then I'll come on with video and I'll ask a couple of other questions for everybody. But Mayana, thank you so much for inviting me to the presentation, because now I have a million thoughts and ideas, and this is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful moment. And today is the eclipse in Lion. I mean, we can do anything. All right.
Yeah.
I'll talk
Yes.
to you. I'm listening. I'll just talk to you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
Okay. So,
Great
others,
responses,
Carrie
great
or Robin, Michelle, when you make when you make sounds when other people are talking, it's hard on the recording.
I'll just mute when you're not talking. Yeah, of course, my gears are going, of course. And Mayanna knows I'm a systems thinker, and I've been a marketer and brander and that sort of thing. So I go immediately to what is going to engage people, you know, of course, the most, what's going to stand out, what's going to be easy to do, right? And what are going to be good examples or templates, because the really successful organizations that, you know, you pick a purpose, even say 12 step is a great example. Alcoholics Anonymous, they have a template. You could go into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in Berlin or in Wisconsin, and you do the same thing. You open up the notebook, and it's the same format, and it's an hour. You're in, you're out, you start, and everybody knows what to do, and everybody belongs. And that is 2 million people. 2 million people a year, you know, are getting healed by the same simple program with the simple things. And I think that, and I know that actually too many choices makes people bug out. They don't do anything, right? So if you give them like,
Amen.
yeah, if you know, myself included, right? If I have too many, it's like I go in a big store, a big box store, and often I'll walk out with nothing because it's like, you know, I just needed some peace. And peace, get it, peace. It was right there. It's right there. I took it. Anyway, so given that with the grandmothers, you know, I would recommend, you know, maybe 3 choices. Do something in the schools, do something in your community, do something in your family or your neighborhood or whatever those 3 choices might be. And then an example, a template example. So everybody's so overwhelmed, so many things. If they could just have something with some points to follow and go, oh, yeah, I could do that in my community. Oh, I can do that in my government. Oh, I can do that in my schools or whatever. But I think if we go, these are things that you could meet all of the goals of the overarching, you know, program, that these are things that we've decided as the global grandmothers that we would like to focus on. And here are some examples of how you can do it in your community. And then we can lace it all together. We'll map it with the bigger group and look at this wave that we're bringing. You know, let's bring a wave to this. And I think too, the children are an opportunity to be really inspiring. Somebody mentioned maybe they were doing videos or movies or something, just the stories of the children, not just the wisdom of the grandmothers, but like
Right.
celebrating some of these kids are doing like crazy stuff, doing companies and everything else. It's like they're adept at technology, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'll do AI and do some books and like programs for their things, these kids that are cleaning the ocean, like 14 years old, figuring it out when none of us could do it.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. And I'll just close it up. But overarching, I think my thought stream is going to how can we make it simple? How can we make it expiring? And how we could give some sort of template or thing that people can do. And then they can make it their own. A
Beautiful.
template's a template, right? It's just like you do a template for an event thing. You just, by the time you put your colors and your things in it, it's your own, but at least you have a framework. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right. I've been asked to put together that packet for this project. And so I'm working with my chat GPT to do that because I need their skills to help me.
Yeah, you just dump it all in the pot and go, hey,
Right.
sort this out for me.
And so every
it helps.
partner,
Yeah.
every partner organization will get a packet of posts that they can put out and media, different kinds of media and all of that. So they can just put their logo on it and send it out.
Beautiful. Mayana, I want to really put a star on a couple of things Robin said. And by the way, Robin, God bless you for speaking up about my daughter's autistic. And that was at the bottom of why I started these K-12 schools, because I hated K-12 education. Anyway, and she's doing great. Today, she's completely by herself taking care of 2 dogs and, paying her bills and all that. Anyway, what Robin said was beautiful, and I want to just tap into that. So AA was actually one of the organizations that I used to figure out how people could open their own schools based on my template. And so it was a template, and we gave it away for free. I didn't, subsidize. I didn't franchise. I didn't, sell people material. I created the material, and then anybody who wanted it could have it for free. They just could get it off of the internet and take it and open their own school. But you can't do that and make people go crazy or make their eyeballs go around. And especially because I was working in public and missionary education, so I had to be very academically correct. Like, we were accredited internationally and nationally. And I'm only saying that because if you get too outside of the borders that people understand, you're trying, what she said about marketing, we're all marketing every day. Marketing, will you be my friend? Will you do what I want to do? And that. And so when we keep it KISS, keep it simple, significant, then we chunk it down to where people literally can be everywhere all at night, all at once. And I think I told you this, Mayana, but a couple of days ago, I was with somebody who was telling me about when electricity was invented. It was overnight that the world became electric because they wanted the lights. And in those days, we didn't have the internet or anything. Well, now with HeartMath, they have been really calculating and databasing, as I've been with them from day one. And that is, what does the heart do, right? And it's much stronger than what electricity did. So that heart coherence, heart, getting everybody involved in their heart. And of course, who's not heartful other than children and grandmothers? You don't get much more banging in your heart, and then when you say children and you go, my grandmother, and then everybody cries. And so the thing is that it's an automatic that you already have heart, automatic. And then the idea that that Robin was saying is, okay, then people are way too overwhelmed to do one more thing, have one more day, have one more card they have to buy, have one more focus. Mayana, do you remember when we used to host? We were the first national host for the Bethlehem Light. Do you remember when we used to do that? We used to do it with the drums and all that.
No, I don't.
Okay, so if you take Robin's idea of AA and you build very simple things, here's the notebook, here's what you say. You want to say something else, go right ahead, it's your life, But if you don't want to learn 50 other things, just do what we're doing because it's working. Then you add on to that this simple thing, like with Bethlehem Light was this light that's been lit since the time of Jesus, supposedly in the tomb, and it travels. It travels on lanterns, and people light their lantern. And they have a very tight template about when does it travel, which airlines does it travel with, which schools does it go to, that kind of thing. And we were the first host in the US. It always used to be in Europe, but now it's everywhere. And so what if you've already got, seriously, Mayana, you've already got 90% of this done. It barely needs tweaking to be adapted. So easy, because when we did all the Peace Pal stuff with the Peace Pal organization with art, which you were a part of, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We got in every year, we hosted it for about 8 years. We received 35,000 to 100,000 pieces of 4x6 art from a kid, and we had to judge all that stuff, and it was so dang complicated I couldn't sleep. But the thing that I learned about how they did that and how they were able, I think you said you had a relationship with Rotary, did you not?
Yes, Rotary's involved. Yes.
Yeah, Rotary was who took our Starshine template to people with schools all over the world, because they were on the ground. And so they could take our idea of go get the kids to go dig in the dirt. Rotary wanted to carry that message because they need stuff to do. Rotary needs stuff to do. And so if you make it simple, and like Robin said, make it really cool, marketable, you've got it. It's boom, it's done. And so, okay, I'm done.
I want to share that we have, I put a link in the chat. One of them is "We Are Your Children" is a song that was written, and there is all of the free content necessary for a choir director to have a youth choir sing that song. And if they're recorded and sent in, Heidi Little, who's doing We the World tour, has offered 5 choirs to join her tour. And she's going to see the King of England and the Pope and other people with lots of money in October to get funding for the We the World tour. This project, the Children's Day of Peace, this is year 1. This is a seed. We're planting a seed. It'll happen every year, but this is a seed and that will grow. We have someone who's going to send an email to all the schools and boys and girls clubs in the nation.
I want to say this very quickly. The deal is made going in, not going out. So this year being year 1, it's really important that the template is correct, that the marketing is correct, that it is very simple, because if it is a mess, and what you just said about people responding in the chat or something like that, if any of that is not done carefully now, it'll be a nightmare later. And it's the same kind of an idea when you're building software. You build bugs into the day 1 of the software, it's going to be a nightmare. And I was involved in a bunch of peace groups that were working with the United Nations right after 9/11. And we did, every year, we started 11 Days of Peace and Sustainability from 9/11 to 9/21 that's adopted all over the world now. But we started that idea, and then Rick, somebody in New York, did it with us, and then we collaborated back and forth. But we had every peace group on the planet working together, and we were calling like this. First call, everybody was arguing like you would not believe. And it was a peace group. And I said, what is with you guys? Like, we're supposed to be establishing ideas for peace, and everybody in here is arguing. And so I'm out. And so what I want to say is that what you're doing today and what you do after today and up to October when you work on this peace choir thing or whatever, the pieces have to be really ironed out in a way that really looks at, honest to God, what Robin just said, I would have grabbed her on the first day of Starshine, because what she's saying about branding and about careful and about AA and about repeatable, that has to be in the procedure now, because you will not be able to fix it next year. It'll be too big.
I appreciate that so much. And, Robin was our webmaster, and she and I worked very closely together in the beginning of the Global Grandmothers. And, I need help with that. This is exactly where I need help. I can think of all kinds of things, but simplifying it down is not as easy. And I need a team. This is my call.
I am
Yeah.
as strategic as you'll ever meet, and I am really picky about things that work. I never want to be involved in something that I know is going to be a disaster right up front.
Brilliant.
And I'm happy to help, but I'm in, like, get the strategy down and make sure that it's exactly right. Like this thing that you brought up about chat and who's gonna post and who's not gonna post, you have no idea the brevity of that, because you get people that go down some weird rabbit hole and you've lost the whole group. And so the idea is to include everybody under certain circumstances. Like if you do this, you're knocked out, And the sad thing is, no, it's not sad. It's just the way it is, A lot of really, really wonderful people that are well-meaning, and because of Steve's work as with Steve Miller and all those old rock stars, I was involved with a lot of those people that were in the hippies, love and peace, drugs, sex, and rock and roll people. And a lot of the people that were in those first peace movements, including the organizers around Woodstock and how did they keep Woodstock from blowing up in World War V, it was little things, little bitty things. Why did Woodstock work like that when other things have not? Is because they reminded each other to take care of each other and love one another. And they did it 50,000 times. Like they did it with every band. They did it on every stage. Every time they gave somebody a bowl of rice, they said, love one another. You're peace and brothers. We're taking care of each other. It's raining. It's cold. It's icky. We don't have enough bathrooms, but we've got food and we're having fun, and take care of each other. And they had only one person die, and that was from drugs. But it was because a couple of people that got very involved on the front end were tough. And some of those people actually I can bring in here, because they'll tell you some stories about Woodstock and what not to do and what to do. But you're on the right path. Mayana, you've got all the stuff kind of laid out. What Robin said is gold. I mean, you would have paid Robin $100,000 for those ideas just now. And the idea, I too went to all those schools because my dad was in the Air Force. I was born in Germany. I was raised in Tokyo. I went everywhere. And so the thing is that we can leverage the things we want to leverage, and we can throw away the stuff we want to get rid of. But we have to be the lighthouse for the people to follow after this, and especially the kids. But I think people are so, Mayana said the other day, we didn't know if this was going to be like a slow start or whatever. People are so sad and lonely right now, and they need a reason for living, and they need an idea that is going to take them up to the next level of their own personal life, their own heart, and then how do they connect globally with everybody else. So
this is beautiful. This is where I jump in, because the whole way this started, Trish, was I was awakened. A friend woke me up by way of saying he had had a communication with a dream. And I was he had to ring me. He had that deal. And it was a sacred knowledge. And wake up, Michelle. My dad, too, was a journalist. We traveled the world as well. And we lived in Germany. My sister was born there. We lived in Ethiopia. We were in Formentera when James Taylor and those people were there. And we were blasé kids. We met everybody. And it didn't impress us. We're just like doing things. I worked in fashion with the hippie dresses, and then I got into Aboriginal art for 40 years here in Australia, telling the old Dreamtime stories. They were connected still, and still are, in their sacred journey of water manifesting because of the songs they sing. And Steve Miller, Chew the Children. We love deep down. My brother, now deceased, loved your work, guys. But my dream now is to cross-pollinate fashion with recycling and setting up infrastructures with high-end fashion, which I'm launching in October here in Australia, in Byron Bay. You're probably familiar. And do that and get little pockets of silhouettes of girls with recycled tablecloths and recycled bit of silk. Throw it together and make it zhuzh. Make it work. And I'm doing it, and it's just falling into place. And my old boss wants me
Make
back.
those pieces as healthy as you can. I don't want to wear plastic.
No, darling, you're not going to. I'll have it for you. I promise. Mariana's going to be the Blue Lotus gown. I mean, I've got things coming through. But so you understand that this is sacred, and holding this space has been a tremendously wonderful energy, but it's reciprocated. And you're so right about Woodstock and the wisdom. And I've often pondered that, but I know we need to do this now, because the world needs us more than anything. And we are only a refraction, a little tiny weave refraction of a cell, but each cell refracted makes a reflection and makes it happen. And, with that,
the music is, when we had the schools, the music, and especially drumming, that you guys are all familiar with. One of my best friends actually lives in Arizona, who his name is Byron Metcalf, and he's probably the most famous drummer on the planet. And he spent his whole life, he's 81, but he spent his whole life studying shamanic drumming from every single place. And he's put it in, he works with HeartMath, he works with Monroe Institute, and he's produced a lot of stuff. But the point is that music is the first language, so it's the quickest way to grab everybody. And I'm not sure, Mayana, it's very complex. I never say we can't do something, but organizing a community choir and getting them all to do certain things.
Oh, I'm not doing that. That's what he's doing.
But
he's doing that.
There's a girl from Australia right now who actually I'm following very deeply, and I don't know her, but she is hotter than hot, and she sells out within 5 seconds, and she teaches people one song, and they sing the song during the concert. She teaches them during the concert. She sells out. She's $85 cheapest seats, and within 2-3 hours of her coming into a city, she'll sell out, and she's from Australia. Anyway, that was something that I brought up on this last road trip on Route 66, is maybe the churches, to get people back in, they could do one karaoke night or something where everybody's singing together, because that does solidify a community, but it has to be super simple stuff. And so anyway, there are so many ideas here that we could probably talk for the next 10 hours.
Right. What we really have to do is recognize that what we have is a seed. We don't have to have the whole full-blown plant, the whole tree. We have a seed, and it's a peace seed, and it's a light, and we want to pass it from heart to heart. And to keep it simple, as you said, and I like that, keep it simple and significant. That's one of the things Andras says, is one of Vincent van Gogh's quotes, is exaggerate the essential, leave the obvious vague. And so this is where I need help, is making it simple how to present it simply so everyone gets involved and they go, oh, I want to do that. I can do that. Yeah, let's do it.
I'll help you all that I can, and I believe in you, and I believe in what you guys are doing, and I hope, I spoke at a couple of conferences of Native American women heads of tribe, and it was only US, it wasn't around the world, but they're very unusual. I mean, they're only like maybe 12 or 13. And these women are, but do you remember Euquala, Mayana?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I do too. Of course.
Is the medicine man and the chief
Yeah.
from the bottom of the Grand Canyon from Havasupai. Euquala is one of my, like, he's like my brother, but he's also, we travel a lot together, we do a lot of things together. And his sister is, and they're all grandparents, right? His sister,
Mm.
well, Euquala's not, because Euquala's gay, and he doesn't care if you know that. But his sister is a medicine woman, and he helped me prepare when I was asked to talk to the heads of tribes. And I think that what you're doing and how you're putting it together is just so needed right now. So needed.
Mhm, mhm.
Do you know
Interesting.
grandmother Ejna Fleury?
I don't.
Okay, she's invited me, and I haven't even considered it yet to in September to Northern California. She's part of the Founding Mothers, and she's doing ceremony for a 4-chamber heart ceremony for forgiveness and amnesty, and to launch a year of jubilee to offer amnesty for people who acknowledge what they've done and ask for forgiveness.
The only thing
And he's a part of that, is why I brought that up.
Euquala.
Euquala. Yeah,
Well,
Euquala.
the one rule I have about me, and this is just me, you can, I don't, if you don't want me involved in whatever, I'm fine with that. But my rule since the beginning of time, and it was kind of a Mother Teresa rule, all the schools were run like this. This is one of the reasons I got sued so many times. I don't do any anti-anything at all. I don't do an anti-poster. I don't do an you
Good.
should feel bad about what
Yeah.
you did.
We don't. We
Because
can't.
the thing is,
We can't.
I feel that if you've done some really crud thing, okay, fine, but that brought you to this moment. And so I don't know how God works, but it's okay. And I can't, like they said something, and Martin Luther King said something about this, but it's like I'll go to any, and I used to do this when what was our peace group that we were doing with Marianne Williamson? What was the name of it?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
It was Department of Peace. Department of Peace.
Yeah.
And so some of those people in Woodstock that were so good at what they did, and Department of Peace people, they would beat up policemen. And I'm like, you guys, no,
No.
not
Be
do
nice. Yeah, behave.
And so I personally, if anything starts to get into I'm out.
Yeah, I don't protest anything. I don't do protests or anything. Yeah.
And I don't, if there's like a big declaration that we will not do this or that, or I'm out, because I just can't. I have 5 minutes. I have 24
Yeah.
hours, and my 24 hours have to do whatever makes me happy to go to bed.
When you look to the light, there's no shadow. When you look to the light, there's no shadow. So
Just
you don't
the whole
see.
thing.
Let's keep the light. Yeah.
So
It's beautifully above you there.
yeah, I just want to, some of these really primary things, like what she said about AA, it's like get it out really early, because then it percolates in everybody's mind. And we say things like, well, if we do an rally movement or something, Trisha's not going to be there. Or if we don't pay attention to what
No. There's enough negative. We need to
this
turn
is
to the positive. We're only positive.
this is
Absolutely.
exactly why
Ethical.
Children's Day of Peace came to be, because we have to focus our energy on the
Yeah.
children instead of the things that are there that we could think about that keep us separate, that we could think about. We need to put all of our attention on listening to the children, seeing their work, hearing their songs, hearing their poetry and their prose, hearing what they need to tell us, because we're the ones that can take action on that.
Yeah. And what works too, because one of you guys said something about Steiner, and also that Wonder School in California. Those were two things that when I knew it was inevitable that I was going to open a school and I was going to use all my money to do it. And it was with the highest risk kids, the throwaway kids. People don't want them. They've already killed somebody. They've stolen cars, whatnot. I was going to work in the number 2 worst neighborhood in the United States. And that was where I started the first one. And the reason I chose to do it is I had a feeling that if I took all the stuff we already know, the Carl Jungs of the world, the Steiners of the world, the Montessoris of the world, the Wonderland School. If I took what everybody's already done and if I dissect it and create a strategy out of it, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. It's already done. It's just that nobody puts it together in something that's going to work. And so what we did was so simple, so totally simple, that literally somebody without an education background, now if they had an education background like the two of you guys, you can, if you were like, God bless teachers, they're angels on the planet. Why anybody would be a K-12 teacher, I have no clue, because it's the hardest job on the planet. I think that, and then nurses, but K-12 teachers, holy shit. Anyway, what I realized is that these angels on earth, they can run an entire town. The teachers that I worked through Liberia, they had 1,000 children in the dirt. So they had to do math in the dirt with 1,000 kids. And guess how they did it? They leveraged the children. So one kid taught 10 kids, and one kid taught 10 kids, and the teacher just taught the kids that were in charge of all the other kids. And it worked. It worked. But you know what we did first? When we first went over there, our first day, we had a garbage cleanup day. And we took all those teachers and all those children, and we gave them all trash bags, and we gave them prizes for whoever was going to pick up the most trash. And we just cleaned up the entire country in 5 seconds. And it made everybody happier, and it made everybody feel like they were spreading beauty. And once everybody did that, everybody wanted to be a part of everybody else. And those are the little things you can do to grab the whole community.
Jeanette, you have your hand up.
Setting the scene. Beautiful, setting the scene.
Jeanette.
Hello.
There you are.
Wanted to raise my hand. I'm post-op. I'm still recovering, and I don't know how long my energy is going to last, unfortunately. But Maya-Anna, twice now I've heard you say I need help. So my question to you would be, how do you perceive, like, what do you need help with exactly? How can we or anyone else help you with this project?
Meet with me, work with me on the foundational templates and the structure of what we're presenting, because right now what you've seen is what we have. Founding Mothers is launching that program, and I'm a part of that. So I'm doing the grandmother part and the Founding Mothers part, and I need help with the everyday tasks of managing it, of getting the grandmothers involved, getting the what we present to them So the idea was we were going to have 3 meetings, and at the end of the 3 meetings, we'd have something to present to the group. And this is the 3rd meeting. The first meeting we had 3 of us. The second meeting, Jeanette, you were a little bit late, and nobody else came, so I had closed it. And this is the 3rd meeting. So
Okay.
Well, Mariana,
I need participation. I need people to work with. I'm a co-creator. I am a co-creator. I work really well with other people, hand in hand.
well,
And
you
we
can't,
continue to work together.
you have to. I mean, you can't accomplish
Yeah.
anything like this without a bunch of people. But Mayana, I'm just curious. I've only barely even known about this. So, is there a reason that we don't talk about grandfathers or fathers or anything like that? Is there anything that precludes that? Or I'm just curious.
So the Global Grandmothers Council Network was formed based on the 13 Indigenous grandmothers teaching that grandmothers needed to come together, and Brook Medicine Eagles teaching that grandmothers needed to rise up. So that then when the group exploded, there was a lot of consternation about men being there, and people didn't want men present because there were a lot of broken people. So we listened to the group and made it women only. But then we created a hardest group where men and women could be, but I don't have anyone managing that group. So it's not doing anything. No, we want the men. We want the mothers. We made a space by changing it from grandmother to grandmother in the group. So mothers would feel like they could be a part of it. And now we're at the place where we've listened and we want to make the group public again.
Well, a lot.
Open it up. We're opening it up now to all and anyone that wants to come on board. There is not going to be a restriction, gender, age, or anything like that. We welcome with open arms, but we did have to.
I had an idea. A lot of hurt men, when I had my school, they've been raised by grandparents.
Yeah.
Because especially, no, I would say across the board of the different tribal groups that I know, so many, well, we're kind of in the 3rd generation of really poor parenting.
Correct.
And so a lot of.
Well, if I could just say, Trish, the thing of it is that we were very aware of the fallout, that men had nowhere to go. And we were hoping and trying to inspire men, our friends, our personal friends and partners to do something. But unfortunately, the momentum remained with us. And this magic that has happened, even though the dreamer was a guy, my mentor, my Merlin, I call him, living in St. Just in Cornwall, Charles, is obviously a guy. And I'm like, Charles, darling, what do we do? He said, just keep going with the grandmothers. And that was what your advice was. But we're opening up now. We're opening up.
I think we could do, back to Robin, because he's got some brilliant ideas. I think if we could just do a teensy bit of marketing about the men who've been raised by grandmothers.
The men who've been raised,
we would support this whole idea of grandmothers, because I know many men that are brokenhearted.
Yeah, I do too. We all do. We all do. Yeah.
They were on drugs or whatever, and their grandparents.
And they came back from Vietnam. There was nobody to school them. There was nobody to nurture them. There was nobody to heal them from the First World War. So we need to hold space for them and recognize that and make a special statement for it, of course. Yeah.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
Over to Robin, perhaps. So exciting.
Again, just back to the original sort of focus, regardless of whether or not men come in to support the grandmothers, to never lose the focus. The reason that 12 step works for AA or NA or eating over or whatever is they have a single point of focus. And if we are welcoming in others, of course, who honor the grandmother. I was half raised by my grandmother. I'm a grandmother's girl. The grandmother spirit come to me. I'm grandma, right? I am whatever they want me to do, you know. But the men who come knowing and it being clear that we are here to honor the wisdom of the grandmothers and support what they are doing for others, right? So that there's
Exactly.
not these multiple points of focus. And, you know, whether you do grandmothers, I don't ever want to lose it's grandmothers. We have a lot of mother organization or whatever, and they are grand, but the grandmothers and the space that they hold energetically for the collective. And that I always say, like when the spirit grandmothers all start showing up, I'm always
Yeah.
kind of a little bit like, oh shit, like what's going down? Because that's like big guns, and we are big
Yeah,
guns, big energetic
exactly.
guns.
Exactly.
And I
And
would say
yeah.
Thank
that
you.
I would say that the Global Grandmothers Council Network, that name has not changed. The only place where it changed was the group. Not the page, not the website, not the magazine, nowhere else, just in the group.
Yeah, and we get that.
So it is getting late here, and I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody's feeling that it's been a long time. So I would like to ask one response from each of you about time availability and your response. I guess I don't even have a question at this moment. So we'll just have a final round and
I'll just add mine, and then we can be
Can
done
I
with me.
suggest something? Mayana, you just might want to ask everybody in here because you've got a pretty dynamic group that has some really great ideas and some really great backgrounds. I mean, this is a small group, but only 6 people created the Renaissance. 6 women, by the way. Yay, Robin. So I think I can imagine that I'm talking for everybody. Everybody here is pretty devoted to the project, it looks like. And I think that it's now, if you could sit down and think about what you'd really like help with the most, like pluses and minuses. And then you've already heard some of the abilities of everybody on here and you kind of know. And I think we're all excited about this idea. We see the timing of needing it, and we also see the timing of today that we're even meeting. And so you've got, what, if there's 6 of us here, I think, you've got a dynamic group right now. We all are volunteers right now. We just spent the last several minutes together, and we all have different talents. You can already tell. And so just tell us what you want, because I'm willing to do everything I can to see this come to fruition and to get it out to, other people that we're doing. And let's make peace happen on earth, but let's fix the dirt.
so
let's take.
so we need a regular meeting group, a group that meets regularly, that takes action together, that can use Canva or Google Docs or something to help create the packet and the presentation for the grandmothers. Before we present it to them,
I would imagine almost all of us are pretty good at, I mean, you can see my background right now. I got that done in 5 seconds from AI. And so Canva, I'm using less and less because AI does a better, quicker job. But on so far as documents like contracts and things like that, I mean, I could do those in my sleep. I've done 1,000 501c3s, and I've been an entrepreneur all my life. So if you need something that is kind of like contractual or something that has to be really boilerplated down, I mean, I'm pretty good at it. It sounds like Robin is. I don't know, but the teaching piece, you've got two brilliant people who've been in the classroom, and in 5 seconds, if we said, do you think we could get every teacher to do X, Y, or Z? And I always go back to training the kids. It's like, if we don't train these kids, they're going to grow up to be awful 40-year-olds. So, yeah, just decide. If you decide that Wednesday nights, this time is the best time, it doesn't matter. If we're in, we're in. If we're not, we're not. And you can decide. So, you've got a good group. We've done a lot today. And I am so incredibly honored that you reached out to me, Mayana. My gosh, I can't believe it. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys, because I've got to get off of here. But I love you. I love you, Mayana. I was
Love you, Trish.
all you guys, and I look forward to making this thing incredible. And we can. It's no problem. It's easy.
I'll put together an email chain also.
Yeah. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Trish.
Bye, Trish. Carrie, we haven't heard from you much. Would you like to step in?
Same thing. I love everything. It's all wonderful. Do we push this locally ourselves?
And yes,
In local
yeah, whatever.
schools and libraries and stuff, and
Absolutely.
all these pages like
Yeah,
ready
we'll get
now. Yeah.
flyers.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And we
Thanks,
also
Bill.
have someone reaching out to all of the PTAs.
Yeah, that's huge.
Okay.
That's where you can fractal quickly, right?
Yes.
Well,
But for the
yeah, that's
what
grandmothers
I'm-
themselves, the global grandmothers themselves, I just was envisioning that we could maybe raise some money to give a peace prize for maybe intergenerational healing or something that children are doing for the elders, ways that I don't know. I was hoping we could come up with something that the grandmothers would feel like they wanted to give to that and really recognize
No doubt
a
they
few
would.
children.
No doubt they will. And we just have to bring that awareness in. We just have to table that in a format. If we do a weekly meeting, Mayana, with this group, this would be phenomenal. This would shift a lot of energy. If and Robin, you said this time works for you. Is that right?
yeah. This time works for
thank
me. I just wanted to say, Mayanna, as far as how I can contribute and best respect what I got going on, because
Right.
I'm doing all of this, and I'm in a health battle for those of you who know. But that said, a lot of I think what I can help you is in that seeding point with the template and ideas and a structure, and then other people can follow that structure, and I don't have because I don't actually know where this is going.
Right. Right. So I was not ever going to ask you for.
Yeah, no, but I'm interested,
Bless.
and like I said, I'm a grandma's girl, and when the grandmas told me to show up, I show up. Period.
Angel woman, and the formula, darling,
Love you
what
so
you've already
much.
done for us is phenomenal, extraordinary, and your vitality and family, of course. But if you could get a formula, and you would.
Do you know what? One thing, like I said, I'd say like three things. You got the schools. Well, it
Yeah.
could go with the school, but one thing that was coming in while you guys were speaking and stemming from the seed planting and our grandmother's garden, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the last place I was before here, it was in Mount Shasta, establishing a mother temple, right? And grounds. And one of the first things that came in was make a mother's garden, which I did. But in Mount Shasta, there is a profound and beautiful peace garden. And, they got the poles for peace and everything. And I know people there that are working with children and who have homeschooling in that. Perhaps they could do that. Like for me as mystic, like I'm like, root that shit at the root, pardon me, chakra of the planet in the peace garden with the children holding, maybe around the mother in the lavender labyrinth, because that'd be hot.
It's
But
November.
that said,
so-
like having it seeded from the root, maybe other children, schools, churches can plant a peace garden, even if it's like that big.
Yeah.
It
Right.
would be, it's November in the north, so we're not going to
Kinda
be
hard for
planting
garden.
seeds, but it could be clear the
Design-
space for a garden in the
Yeah.
spring.
Designing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could sprout in a mason jar. Put a
Love
Yeah.
it.
word on it.
Yeah.
Peace
Love it.
garden. Any kind
Yeah.
of piece, a plant, that might be a planting that could be energetic, really, really potent. And everybody can
Beautiful.
relate to that. It's kids in the dirt.
One thing Trish
So
had said was get kids to make a cup of mulch every day to put on a spot. And if you
Yeah.
did that in the winter, all winter,
Yeah.
you'd have really good dirt in the summer.
Yeah. Composting. And you could design your garden in the winter up there. Whereas here we can get cracking.
Right.
see, we could do like I said, like 3 things, like build a peace garden, tie into others that are, and you can do it, plant it in a cup, plant it in your yard,
That's it.
plant it,
That's
right?
it.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
3
yeah, yeah.
ways
Right.
that they could do that. But anyway, I
Beautiful.
won't get into details of that because I'm a delayed processor, but good at it. Like I would love to get the transcript actually from this Mayanna because I can actually work with AI and then look at like building everything in. Like, what are 3 really good goals that are wide? Because that we can get, with the schools or the whatever. So I just want to like
Transcript.
incorporate everything. But what are the things that we can hit that will
Yeah.
fractal biggest
Yeah.
and easiest?
Genius.
Carrie,
Love
do you have something?
genius.
Carrie?
I was gonna say
shoot.
you already have a big part of it. You got the song, so you got
Yeah.
the music teachers.
Yeah.
The earth, the dirt, we can get the science slash whoever's into that. And I just say the art teacher. That's the
Right.
next.
I love that, Carrie. That's it. Like
Yeah.
music,
Yeah.
or the earth
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
growing, and then the art.
And
Right.
English for writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Yeah.
and one of the founding mothers is writing a children's book that she's going to give away.
All
Excellent.
right.
There's a-
So
They could be
perfect.
read,
They
Yes.
could
So-
be read. We
I-
could record somebody reading it. I'd love to offer for doing that.
Yes, Jeanette.
I have a question. Has anyone thought, since it's the grandmothers supporting Children's Day, outreach to senior centers
Yeah.
and
Brilliant.
possibly senior homes? So that has been
I'll
brought
put
to
that
the
on my
table.
list because I had
Brilliant.
libraries at school.
Yeah.
it.
Oh, and like communities, senior communities.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
Great. Love
And
it.
they could do that like with the kids coming to the senior community,
Yeah.
making a garden or art with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I love
my-
that.
I
Yeah.
do too. I procure some donations actually being
Mhm.
practical too.
So
Yeah.
one of our local people, when she saw what we were doing, she said, "Well, I want to get some of those T-shirts and cups because we give gifts to the teachers, and people buy gifts for teachers and kids, and Christmas will be coming, and
Mhm.
who doesn't want to give their kid
Mhm.
a T-shirt or a sweatshirt that's
Mhm.
really inspiring and wear one themselves, and so there's possibilities. So
Are they
More
using
than
the
that.
artwork itself that the children create possibly for
can.
fundraising for the next time?
yes,
Essentially, have you heard of,
absolutely.
WeMoon, the
Yes.
calendar book? That's
Uh-huh.
kind of what I was thinking
Mhm.
of. Maybe
Mhm.
that
Mhm. Mhm.
it could be made into some kind of calendar or T-shirts or
Mhm.
Absolutely, and we can do the magazine. We can do. We'll have
Calendar.
a wall for all the
Mhm.
artwork online. We can
Mhm.
take every image. We will have access to be able to
Mhm.
use it for whatever we want, because they have to
Okay.
sign that agreement when they upload it.
Mhm. Okay. So the submissions, we anticipate submissions coming through.
Yes. And I'm in the back end of that. I have access to all the submissions in the
Okay.
Founding Mothers.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I vote for Google.
Yeah.
I think everybody has Google, so that would be
yeah.
Oh, Jeanette, beautiful.
Okay,
That's
so
great.
Wednesdays at this time good for everybody then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
I
do,
guess
we'll
I've been
do,
This works for me.
substituting.
we'll set a regular meeting and
See you next
I'll
week.
send an email. And I just, as you said that, Robin, I recorded it, but I don't know if I transcribed it.
Okay, we'll see if it comes out, if it gives you a
Yeah.
transcript. Sometimes it does, but it's no big deal.
Yeah. Yes, Carrie.
And we can go ahead and start pushing this in our local
Yes.
communities.
Yes.
Well, when we get
absolutely.
the template,
I have
and
a question for Carrie.
we'll have packets.
I have a question for Carrie. Was it Carrie that, and Mayana, was it Carrie that was interviewing you when I interacted with?
No.
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 Okay. I just thought it might have been.
Okay,
Carrie,
so Robin, you and I'll work on the packet. What
Yeah,
are
and
your
getting it-
coming
and getting it
days
down to, like,
before
what are
next
our
week?
things?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
You know how we do it.
I know. Yeah, okay. Thank you all for coming. I'm so grateful. I really appreciate your presence. It means a lot. Thank you.
Nice
Love
work.
you.
Love you guys.
thank
You're
you
awesome.
all for
Thank you.
carrying this and taking it places that I could not have dreamt of in the initial moments of this. And it's just phenomenal that we are doing what we're doing. And so we're going public now. We're opening up that the Facebook page. What happens there with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of pause on that just until we get this figure, just till
The
we get
people in
this
place so that we can
in place, and we
manage it.
have to have enough moderators to be able to approve posts, because we'll be approving posts instead of just letting people post. So we have to have, and we
Put
have to
the
have new
feelers out.
rules,
Put the
and all
feelers-
of that has to happen. So, yeah,
Right.
and my lists are hi.
The
Staggering
biggest thing
and-
with the mothership
Okay.
group was, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Michelle. Go ahead.
I don't know. Just saying it's staggered and staggering, her list. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, the biggest thing is just spamming self-promotion. That's what I got in, in
Yeah.
the mothership. I made that
Yeah.
a private group.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same thing. It was like shooting up 1,000 people or whatever, but it was, I only had a
Yeah.
couple people, and you can't, and everybody
Yeah.
just doesn't matter if you had it in the rules. They're still
No.
come to my thing, buy my thing.
Yeah,
But I'm like, this is
yeah.
not
Right.
spam.
That's
They
why
never
we have
post
to make it
anything from
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
themselves.
post approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yes,
have to do
exactly,
post approval,
Exactly. Of
or
course
it'll
we
just
do
get
that.
messy.
But we can post approval, of course. We
I
don't
have
even know that.
two moderators have said yes,
Mhm.
but we will need a team.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I can still jump in
Okay.
on that. I can jump back in on that.
Okay.
I'd love to.
I'm going to go, guys.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Did you have something else, Carrie?
I was gonna say, if there's more rules with that too, I could probably check post more. I haven't really touched any posts. But yeah, if we get more, if this happens, you're out, if that,
Yeah. Yeah,
Or
we have
if
to
this is
redefine the
said, or-
rules.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, all. Thanks.
I'll-
Good night.
I'll send some ideas for
Okay.
that.
Wonderful
great.
work, and remember to breathe.
Thank you. Yes.
Have a beautiful night, Mayana. Thank you, darling.
Thanks. Yeah. Much love.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you, Carrie and Rob.